Tes tes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Surya Triabadi, a student from Information Technology Study Program, class 17.1A.27. Here's a video of my midterm project. In part 1, I will share my opinion about smoking in campus area. And in part 2, I will explain the material about simple present tense. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Tes. The dangers of smoking come from the chemicals in a cigarette. It's estimated that a cigarette contains over 7,000 chemicals, around 70 of which are known to cause cancer. Some of the harmful substances include nicotine, carbon monoxide, tar, benzene, and more. Today, although smoking is a personal choice, the percentage of smokers keeps increasing each year, even spreading into educational environments like schools and campuses. This is concerning, as this space should ideally be supportive, healthy places for students and staff. Cigarette smoke doesn't just affect the smokers, but also those around them who are exposed to it indirectly, also known as a passive smoker. For non-smoking students, the presence of cigarette smoke around campus can be disruptive and even threatening to their health. Studies have shown that exposure to secondhand smoke can cause various health issues, from respiratory problems to an increased risk of heart disease. Ironically, a place that should support academic and personal growth ends up allowing the smokers to smoke in inappropriate places. Additionally, smoking negatively impacts the campus environment. Carelessly discarded cigarette filters can pollute the surroundings, damaging the campus's aesthetics. The harmful chemicals that seep into the ground and water can also harm ecosystems. Therefore, a stricter campus policy is needed, whether through creating entirely smoke-free zones or providing designated smoking areas away from lecture halls. This way, smokers also have a space without disturbing others' comfort. Campuses can also take a more active role in educating students about the dangers of smoking, both for themselves and those around them. And that's my opinion about smoking in campus area. Thank you for your attention and see you in the second part. Hello, it's me again, Surya. In this part of the video, I will explain about the material simple present tense. Here are the table of contents of what we will learn in simple present tense. There are definition of simple present tense, function of simple present tense, and form of simple present tense. We will learn about these three. And the first is definition of simple present tense. Definition of simple present tense is a form of tense that used to express events that occur regularly, routinely, or are commonly done in the present. So, if you want to express an event that you are done in the present, you can use this tense. The next is function of simple present tense. There are few of function in simple present tense. One of them is to state general truth. And for the example, the sun rises from the east. This statement, the sun rises from the east, most of people know that the sun is truly rise from the east, not from the west. So this is a general truth. Another example of general truth is, if you fall, it must be downwards, not upwards. And another one is, the rain contains the water, not the gas. That's the general truth. The second function is to express habitual action. For the example, eat, drink, walk, sleep, and maybe run. There are so many examples of habitual action. Habitual action is an activity that we are routinely do, so it become the habit of ours. Before we go to form, we have to know the subject first. There are I, you, they, we, he, she, it. We must know and at least memorize this subject. After we know and memorize the subject, we can go to the form. There are three forms of simple present tense. The first one is positive form, denoted by a plus sign. The second is a negative form. Negative form is denoted by a minus sign. And the last one is interrogative form, denoted by a question sign or mark. Positive form is a form that contains sentences that have a positive value. There is a kind of formula for positive form. The formula is subject plus verb 1 plus object. For the example, I play guitar. I is the subject, play is the verb 1, and the guitar is the object. He lives in Jakarta. He is the subject, lives is the verb 1, and in Jakarta is positioned as an object or locative adverb. The case of using verb 1 in the positive form is slightly different. So, verb 1 plus e or es if the subject is he, she, it, or a person name. For example, he plays guitar. The verb 1 basically just play, but s is added because the subject is he. Haris watches TV. The verb 1 basically just watch, but es is added because the subject is a person name, which is Harris. Then, what's the difference between usage of s and es? To find out the difference in the use of s and es, you need to know the spelling rules. If the verb ends with the letter sh, ch, s, z, x, o, then es is added. For example, wash ends with sh, so it becomes washes. Catch ends with ch, becomes catches. Class ends with s, becomes classes. Buzz ends with z, becomes buzz. Fix ends with x, become fixes. And go ends with o, becomes goes. If the verb has a consonant and y, then add ies. For example, study becomes studies. If the verb has a vowel and y, then add s. For example, buy becomes buys. The second form of simple present is negative form. Negative form is a form that contains sentences that express negation or denial, which have a negative value. So, if we want to express the denial of a statement, we can use this form. The formula for the negative form is subject plus do not or does not plus verb 1 plus object. We can shorten do not to don't and does not to doesn't. Don't or doesn't also has spelling rules, the same as verb 1 based on the subject. I, you, they, we use do not or don't. He, she, it, or person name use does not or doesn't. For example, I don't play guitar. Use don't because the subject is I. He doesn't like strawberries. Use doesn't because the subject is he. You don't watch TV because the subject is you. Nina doesn't cook eggs. Use doesn't because the subject is Nina, which is a person name. The last form of simple present tense is interrogative form. Interrogative form is a form that contains sentences that state questions or are in the form of interrogative sentence. As the name suggests, you can use this form when asking something. The formula of this form is do or does plus subject plus verb 1 plus object. For example, does Leah like milk? Do you know him? Does he play football? Do they work together? The spelling rules of do or does still the same as don't or doesn't, based on the subject. And these are examples of positive, negative, and interrogative forms. Denka goes to Bali. The verb goes is an addition from basic verb go, and the rest follows all the formulas explained previously. And that's all my explanation about simple present tense. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.